Hey everyone, it's Adele and April from Just Say Scrap, and we are here with Technique Tuesday number 156. So today we decided we are going to pull out one of our brand new thin cuts.
Yay.
We are going to do the Waterfall Thin Cut. So we are going to experiment along with you. It's our first time using it, but she's done them manually before, so it's not very hard to figure out. We've seen a bunch of things already done with it, so we're really excited to use it.
Yes.
And
yes, we are.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. All right, so today we are going to be showing you our brand new thin cut. It is the Waterfall Thin Cut, and I've got a piece of sangria here, and Mom is getting us a piece of Desert Rose. So Desert Rose is a brand new color, sangria is not. And this is a big thin cut. It's huge, so big. Oh, thank you. There's Desert Rose. Okay. So we're going off of these colors because we decided to pick the same colors that are in Bloom with Grace. And we are going to walk you through this thin cut. So this is what you get in the thin cut sheet. You get the piece that makes the waterfall. Then you get a few different design elements to it, along with that and along with these, and which they show you here. So you stamp, you layer, all that fun stuff. So we're gonna follow these directions just like we do when we do the creativity in motion. You really wanna follow your directions, and don't throw these out. Like, keep them, because you might be like, oh, I figured this out, and then you might come back to it in like a year if you forget about it, and then come back to it and then be like, how do I do this again? Never throw out your directions, right?
That's right.
Okay. So, cut pieces. Tip. Cut 4 squares. Use scallop pieces and banners for decoration and accents. So we're going to be cutting 4 squares, and then everything else is going to be designs and accents. So when I first open these, sometimes I find that the back always gets stuck. So make sure that the back of the plastic is not stuck, then the front, and they should slide right out. Perfect. So we've got our 12 by 12 piece here, but we do have to cut it down. So we do have our Cuttlebug. So the Cuttlebug mats are about 6 inches, but just to give some leeway, I'm actually only going to cut it at 5, just so I'm not forcing the paper through the Cuttlebug.
Yes, but you may need a little bit. You should measure that, because that may be...
No.
Is that...
5 is perfect.
5 is perfect, okay. Well, I wasn't quite sure.
So, cutting a 5-inch piece of Desert Rose. My first time cutting Desert Rose. Ooh. Okay, we're going to pull in the Cricut. The Cuttlebug. That's what this thing is called.
Oh.
We have a problem.
No, we don't.
We don't have a problem. So this is actually good that we figured this out. Our mat is not long enough, so I'm going to show you how we can make it long enough. Also, if you are in the marketplace for a cutting machine, Close to My Heart does have its own cutting machine, and the mats are 12 inches long. So that is also another option. If you would like more information on that, let us know. But I'm actually going to show you this 2 different ways. So if you only have these smaller mats, I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to cut another 5-inch piece and show you how to do it with a long mat if you have that. So we're going to put this through. Okay, so you're going to see that I come to a spot where I can't cut anymore. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to move my paper up because the cut is still in there. So all I'm going to do is just slide this up and then finish off that cut. So it's not too difficult because it stays where it is. You can just kind of make sure that your thin cut stays lined up where it's supposed to. All right, so you see, and it's perfect. Not even an issue. So that's what you should do if you have the smaller mats. But we're going to show you what to do if you have a long mat. Okay, so what I've done now is I'm just taking my A plate for the Cuttlebug, and I'm taking these long B plates, and we're going to put this through and basically do the exact same thing that I just did where I moved it. However, now I have a plate that's long enough that I only have to move the plate. So I'm gonna go about to there. I'm not actually gonna cut all the way through because now I've got the easy part of just flipping my plates instead of moving my paper and everything, and just putting the plates through instead. I know it will give you a cleaner cut. So just wanted to show you, you could do it with anything. If you have like the big kick, or if you have a different one, you can always do something like that, but that is super clean. And it's the same thing. And look, you can even see it on here. That was our first cut ever on this plate. And you can see that it didn't shift or anything. It worked perfectly well. And as Mom just discovered that we do have a long A plate. So you could have just used this instead of having the bottom. And then you would just have to find a shim. So that's what this is. You just have to find something like that to put under it. But hey, look, it works. So what I have now is I cut a 2 2¼ inch piece of our sangria, and I just took the extra part of the bottom of the desert rose and I put some design elements on that, but I have the square thin cut on the sangria, and that is going to be part of the pieces that we need to cut. So I'm just gonna cut out 4 of those and do some extra design elements, and we will be ready to go. All right, so we now have all of those pieces cut, and I got a few design elements. I got a bunch of squares. I actually cut out 5. So the next thing that you would do is you would stamp and layer your design elements. That is the only step I'm going to skip because we're going to do that on Throw It Together Thursday instead. But I just wanted to point out what I did here. So as you can see, there looks like 2 different colors. All it is it's the reverse side. So I decided that I wanted to change it up a little bit, so I took the sangria and I did 2 on the 2-tone side, and then I did 3 on the side that we show as a color. I should have done some 2-tone on this too. I didn't think about that, but I could always go back with the desert rose and do that. So fold bottom flap and score line and attach to front of base. So we're going to fold that down, use the bone folder just to make it a smooth edge, and I'm actually just going to use some liquid glue here. We use a lot of liquid glue. And just attach that down. And then accordion style fold along remaining lines and fold topmost segment behind base. So once we've got that glued, we're gonna accordion these folds. There should be 3. You have 3 flaps that fold, and you're gonna just fold them, and then we're gonna just tuck that underneath. So have them at least looking like an accordion, and then we're just going to fold it at the top so that little tag piece is hanging out the bottom, and that should be attached now. Okay, flip it over your next direction. Fold the long protruding pieces to the back and attach to each other. Do not attach to the base. So we're going to fold these in. Now I'm actually just going to use some adhesive just to attach that, because if I use liquid glue it might get on the base. You can use liquid glue, but I think that's just easier, like that. And then attach first square to base, top edge flush with first fold. Okay, so this is the fold, that's the first fold, and we're going to attach it flush like that right on there, so it's going to hold all this together. Repeat step 7 and 8. Whoops, sorry, just kidding. Attach adhesive to next segment, which is just this. This is the next segment. Be attaching adhesive there. And I'm going to use my 2-toned one. And then attach another square to base, top edge flush with the next fold. Square bottom will overlap the square beneath. So this is where it's saying, you know, you should do your stamping and stuff first. You don't have to. You could always design it afterwards.
Or
but,
yes, or you could design it, stamp it, and have little elements that you just adhere on top of that.
And then we have to keep repeating 7 and 8 with the remaining squares. So you're not gluing them next onto each other, you're gluing them just onto the segments that fold. And then add a banner along the bottom edge of the bottom square, like right here, and then pull downwards to make your first squares flip. Oops, gotta fold that a little better. But it should, if we have it scored right, fold like that. Yeah, that one was not. That's why you really want to make sure you have got a bone folder and have those all really scored well. And obviously you got to make it move a little bit. So, ready? And this is going to be glued down too, or at least it's going to be on a page. Isn't that
so
cool?
And it's so much easier making it with this than trying to do it all on your own.
It is. It's so cool. So, obviously when it's worked out a little bit more, it will be a lot easier to pull. But do you see that? Isn't that super cool? And all it is a thin cut. Whee!
And no measuring.
That's so fun.
Because I've done these manually.
Yeah, and then you have all these cute little design elements too. Like you could put that there.
Right, you could stamp those and
put
put
that
them on
there.
top, so you don't have to worry about stamping.
I could do a banner there. You know, you could do a lot of other things like that too. But we just wanted to show you this, and obviously we're going to throw it together more on Throw It Together Thursday. But you saw once I actually worked it out, so I had to pull that manually, and then if this one wasn't folded as well either, gotta just use that. And then that one is just kind of sits like that. But let's do it one more time just to really get it into your heads. Okay? And we'll do it on white daisy this time, and we'll actually write instructions on it. All right, so we've got our piece of white daisy here. So first you're gonna fold the bottom flap on score line and attach the front to the base. So that's fold number 1. Fold, just like that. Then accordion style fold along the remaining lines, score lines. Fold topmost segment behind base. So that is fold 1. So actually I have just a tip to do here. So when you're about to fold it, I suggest you actually fold the first one up towards the wrong way, just because then it will make this part easier. So this one, fold wrong way. And what I mean by that is when you have these score lines, remember you've got those perforated edges. When it's actually down into it, you want to fold towards the bump that's on the back. So you want to fold this one the wrong way of what you normally would do with your score lines. When you accordion style, you don't really need to accordion them. All you really need to do is fold how you would normally fold on a score line. You just need to fold all of these down, because when you're going to pull it, that's the only direction it's going to go. So you don't need to weaken your paper by doing it in 2 different directions. And if you want to make yourself one of these as well, you could totally do that with some scrap paper. So just like that, fold the right way on 4 score lines. Then the next thing is flipping it over and attaching these 2 pieces together. So that's what the next thing is. So that's going to be number 3. Fold over and attach these together. Just like that. And then number 4 is going to be attach the first one to your base. So number 4 is attach square to base, which this is base. Then number 5 would be adhere here, only attach square. Number 6, repeat 5. Number 7, repeat 5. And there you basically have it. And then your number 8, pull here. And then you pull here, you got it. Just how you would have had before. Obviously it would be glued together. Okay, Mom. So I'm gonna give you this and see if you can do it.
So, fold wrong way. So, that's wrong way. Number 2, fold the right way on 4 score lines. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fold over and attach these together. Okay. Attach square to base. And then, repeat 5. Okay. And then we just pulling, whoops, I'm sure. And there you go.
Pretty simple.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I think that's a good thing to have, so if you ever forget.
That's right.
So, that is our waterfall, and we'll be doing so much more with it.
Oh, yes.
And we can't wait until Throw It Together Thursday. And that's Technique Tuesday. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please let us know. So as you saw, it is a lot easier to fold it just like you would a regular score line, but you can do an accordion. I think it would be better just doing the one way. So we also have our weekend coming up. So if you would like to join that, it's just a $50 order on our website or mom's website before tax and shipping. And we do have a list on our Facebook page of extra supplies. So basically it's gonna be the Creativity in Motion bundle. We'll be going along with Close to My Heart's event, and then we will be doing a few of our own things. So we gave you a little bit more to get so you can follow along with our classes. That is going to be September 18th to the 20th. So we're super excited about that. Mm-hmm. Plus our in-person weekend is in October. So that is still on. So we've been getting a bunch of registrations because we are still on, yay! But we are going to have to cut it eventually because of space and COVID. So if you wanna join us, get your registration forms in soon. We are making sure that everybody is spaced 6 feet apart. You don't have to wear a mask when you are sitting at your seat, but if you're walking around the hotel, that is when a mask is required. Yes. So, and we have a pretty good space, so we'll be able to distance you guys out even further from other groups. So your group will stay together, and yeah. All right, anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
I always forget. Live at 5!
Live at 5.
I've been on the hold with Cricket for 4 hours. Can't believe it's 5 o'clock. Okay. Close to My Heart's heart. You are allowed to